Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about all the books that I ended up reading in January, and let's do a January monthly reading wrap up. I had 6 books on my physical TBR, and those books included Caraval, Powerless, This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan, Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson, and one other book that I'm not mentioning because Boycott and St. Martin's Press at the moment. And I think that's everything that I decided I was going to read. But January has been like a very, very slow reading month. So I end up only reading 2 books and completing them. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. And let's talk about the books that I started this month in January, but I didn't. So the first book I ended up reading in January and finishing, I read on my Kindle, and it was For the Fans by Nyla K. It is an MM romance, so it's a male-male romance, and it followed the story of Avi and Kyron, who are stepbrothers, and they're going through college, but basically his stepfather and his dad end up coming into financial problems, so they have to figure out how they're going to end up paying for school. So Avi's best friend Frankie is like, I have an OnlyFans. I know how you can get the money. You can start an OnlyFans. So he starts doing OnlyFans content, but then he realized that he can make more money if he had a partner. So Avi asks Kyron, who's his stepbrother, to do OnlyFans with him. And basically it turns into more than OnlyFans. And let me tell you, for this to be my first MM romance, my first male-male romance, I really liked it because not only did we see like the sexual tension and stuff between Avi and Kyron, but we see like real life like problems, like, you know, not be able to afford college and how expensive college can be, but also we see like a boy who is struggling to be within the closet, but also we see some spoilers as well that the way Kyron acts is because in the church he has dealt with somebody who abused his power, so he's also dealing with his own version of sexual assault as well, that we see that Avi is helping him through, that we see that his father has made him like push away. So Kyron is basically supposed to be like this white, he's the quarterback, he's the popular guy, he's supposed to be having all the girls, and Avi is supposed to be like the opposite of Kyron. He's the I nonchalant, don't care what I do artist kind of, and smokes a lot of weed. So yeah, but overall in the beginning I would say I was like not vibing with the story because the book was just extremely so long. I never realized this book was like 700 plus pages. I ended up reading this on my Kindle, and I was like, every time I would be making progress, I'm like, dang, I only read that much. So I ended up giving this book 4 out of 5 stars, I believe, and I only gave it 4 out of 5 stars because I did not like how long the book was. If this book was shortened by like 100 or 150, maybe even 200 pages at max, it could have easily been a 5-star read, but the length of this novel I just felt to be very unnecessary. Then the second book I started reading was Caraval series. This is the first book. This is Caraval by Stephanie Garber, and it follows the story of 2 sisters named Scarlett and Donatella who lives on this island, but they have been waiting for Caraval and Legend to come back around to their island so they can go to Caraval basically. So Scarlett, the older sister, has been writing these letters to Legend, and eventually Legend says, we're going to be on this island. If you come to us, you know, you'll be my personal guest. So what ends up happening is that Scarlett and Donatella end up going and they meet with this guy named Julian, and they end up playing the game of Caraval. And so in the game of Caraval, Scarlett's sister Donatella is missing, but it is rumored to be that Legend likes to make a girl fall in love with them, and then basically that girl would herself for Legend's love, and like Legend is not this big good guy. But we also see Scarlett and Donatella is dealing with a very abusive father, a father who wants to control everything, and Scarlett is like really holding herself back because she feels like every time her sister suffers, she suffers, and she wants to keep the minimalness of abusiveness from their father. And let me tell you guys, when I read this book, oh my god, I was falling in love with this book. I truly felt like I was a character in Caraval. I was highly invested. I love Scarlett. I love Julian. I still don't know how I feel about Donatella and Legend. And I have a theory in my head that I still really, even though it says that Julian is not Legend, and I'm not going to spoil it for you because I want this to be spoiler free. I still feel like Julian is a legend, and it's going to come out down the road that he might really be the legend. And instead of like Donatella supposed to be falling in love with Legend, it was really Scarlet this whole time. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. I just bought Legendary, the second book in Caraval yesterday, so I can't wait to get my hands on it and read it. But I ended up giving this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I thought she was really good. I was very invested. The world building, it wasn't too much. It was nice. It was easy. We understood the stories. We understood everything. But also, it was just missing that underlying depth, I guess, of more emotions. I didn't feel like a lot of emotions, but I was very giddy. I was very excited. I just felt like really invested. Like, you really just felt like you are a person in Caraval. I would say if you're somebody who likes maybe slower paced novels, this probably won't be for you because it is kind of slow paced but fast paced at the same time. Some parts are slower, some parts are faster paced. But yeah, that's all I have to say on Caraval. I would definitely be continuing with the series. And then I started these two books. This is Powerless by Lauren Roberts, and this is Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. I'm on page right now for Powerless. I'm currently on page 126, and I believe that is chapter 16. I made a pretty good dent in this. So far, I'm really enjoying the novel. I will say the Hunger Games references that people are saying this book is kind of like the Hunger Games is definitely spot on from TikTok. I haven't found anything that I dislike about this novel, but I would be like softy nothing just because I want to focus on Pearly Black authors for February, which is going to be in the video in itself. But so as of right now, I would not be continuing this book, but I'll probably be picking this book back up in March. And then I started Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. So this is a girl about Mary who ends up killing her sister by accident, or it was like a accidental death. Then she ends up going mute, and she's like put in a group home and everything, and she ends up on probation, but she ends up pregnant. And so yeah, so we're following the story about Mary B. Addison, who allegedly killed the baby, and then she's allegedly supposed to be raising her own child. And yeah, I haven't made it that far. I'm only in like part, like in chapter 2, just like part of it, because I was reading it on my Kindle at work. So I've been reading both of these, and then I just like kind of been just reading this book slowly at home. But I will be continuing this book because Tiffany D. Jackson is a Black author, so I will be finishing this book up for February. But yeah, these are the two books that I started but did not finish. Overall, although this was a slow reading month and I only ended up reading and completing 2 books, I did end up reading 4 books. I finished 2 and I started 2. And I just think what really happened is that I was in a mini book slump because I was finishing off my 10 before the end that I had that I post about on TikTok. If you want to see, you can like follow me on the TikTok over there. But I think was just like in a little like book slump because The Visible Life of Addie LaRue. Oh my god, guys, I was just forcing myself to finish that book, and I think because I chose not to do enough and push through, I just like was kind of like brain dead after that. I didn't want to like read anything. But overall, we read For the Fans by Natalie K, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. We read Caraval by Stephanie Garber, and I gave 4 out of 5 stars. We started Powerless by Laura Roberts, and then we started Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. But that's it. That's all for January. I hope you guys stay tuned because my February TBR is going to be coming up very, very shortly. In the meantime, you guys have a great one. I love you all, and